Hey everyone, welcome to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. Where's Pat and Shane? They're out. They're out on a ski trip together in the Bahamas. Skiing in the Bahamas. How do they do it? I don't know. You have to ask when they come back. But what are we going to talk about today? Well, Diablo 4 has gone gold, but there are currently no plans for a certain feature that I think everybody would most likely want. So basically, map overlay. Me and Patrick played through the beta. I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed the beta. We played on PC. It was a lot of fun. I actually already had the game pre-ordered. I believe Patrick does too. We're really excited. Big Diablo fans. You know, not a big fan of Immortal too much, but Diablo 4 is a lot of fun. But one thing that we noticed during our gameplay was there's no overlay map. And the overlay map is that kind of semi-transparent map that takes up the entire screen where you can see where you're going. And that was one thing that we were hoping that, you know, eventually they'll add in there. But users on Twitter asked if a tab overlay map will eventually get added to Diablo 4. Diablo 4's general manager, Rod Ferguson simply replied with no plans at the moment. One Twitter user was saying about the overlay map, used to be the default ideal way to play and brought a decent amount of clutter as a result. So no harm in trying new things, while others are saying this should definitely be an option. A mini map in the corner isn't sufficient, and opening your map constantly while moving is a hassle. Which I agree. Now, Diablo or Blizzard had here recently, they had a Diablo 4 forum type thing where they talked about the beta and that they had not too long ago, and then kind of the changes they've made. And they also talked about the overlay map. They basically said that they wanted to, pretty much what they were saying is they didn't want the experience to be where you had this big overlaid map, right? They want to go in a new direction with it, right? Where you do kind of have to go between map and mini map and stuff like that to see where you're going. So, they said that they're going to add things to the mini map to kind of help with knowing in which direction this, that, or the other is, with indicators and various things of that nature. So your mini map will have the necessary information so that way you know where you're supposed to be going. But they are still looking into it, right? They're going to see what player feedback is and things like that. So the odds of a overlay map happening, post-launch, no. But after launch, maybe a few months, maybe a year down the line, possibly we could see an overlay map coming on there. I bet you that overlay map is probably going to be one of the first things people mod into Diablo 4. It's probably going to be one of the first ones to be out there on the market is an overlay map. I understand what they're trying to do with this new direction with the mini map and things like that, and kind of separating traveling with combat and exploring the world of Diablo Sanctuary that you're in. But on the flip side, it's like, but why not give the option, right? You can do everything with the mini map, but then say, okay, well, here's an overlay map if you want the option for those individuals that do, right? For those people that want to experience Diablo 4 the way that they've envisioned the mini map and things to work, can do so. And those who want the overlay map can then turn that feature on and have it. I think I personally would do the overlay map. When I play Diablo 2 or Diablo 3, the overlay map is right there the entire time. And I understand the clutter aspect of that one user was saying, right? It does clutter the screen. But I feel like, one of the things I was doing in the beta, which I'm sure Pat was as well, was flipping between the map and exploring. Like, exploring Diablo 4 is a lot of fun, but at the same time, you can get even with the mini map, I could get mixed, turned around and not exactly know in which direction I needed to go. So I was constantly hitting the map button to bring the map up to make sure I was going in the right direction. So it wasn't too horrible or anything like that. And even in dungeons, like, I would think, I remember me and Pat saying a lot like, hey, did we go this direction? I don't remember. Because, when you had the overlay map, it would show like parts that you've been to and parts that you have not been to. So it was really convenient tool in that aspect, where you can still use the map in that regard, but it's just easier to have the overlay on the screen, right? So it is what it is. Hopefully that quality of life feature will come into the game at some point, but for right now, there are no plans to put it in there. So it's going to be a change. It's going to be hard to get used to, I think, for a lot of Diablo players and a lot of players of ARPGs, because we're used to the overlay map being a part of, these dungeon crawlers like this. But speaking of the Diablo 4 forum that they had, you should check it out online. It was really interesting hearing them talk about what the game's going to introduce, some of the beta changes they made. But they did announce, they did announce that there is another test weekend, so dubbed the Server Slam. Server Slam weekend begins May 12th at 12 p.m. Pacific time and ends on May 14th at the same time. Server Slam weekend will be a clean slate of progression from the previous betas. Everything you did in the previous beta does not carry over. And additionally, what I found too is, for what I could read online and everything, is even in this beta, that will not carry over to the main game, right? So when you start Diablo 4, if you buy the deluxe or the ultimate ultra mega edition, that gives you 4 early days to play. I think that because the game comes out on June 6th for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. But if you buy the higher editions than the standard, I think you start on June 1st, if I remember correctly. So you get a few extra days to play. And then from that point, your progression will carry over, of course. But anything in these betas does not carry over to the main game once the main game starts. So the beta does support couch co-op for... not for PC, but for console players, crossplay and cross progression. So the couch co-op is what I'm talking about. They're not going to have couch co-op on PC. Players will explore Fractured Peaks in its entirety through the prologue in Act 1, which is pretty much what we got in the previous beta. Complete world events, face Ashiva, which is the world boss, and completing challenges and things like that, just like we had in the previous beta. But the nice thing about this is it will include all the updates and bug fixes that came from the feedback of the previous betas. So I will be checking it out because I want to see what they've changed compared to the last beta that we had. So it'll be really interesting to see what they've changed and everything, and get more excited for release. But if you're thinking, well, I played the last beta, I'll just wait to release. Why do I need to play this one? Well, you don't need to. But if you wanted to, the initial casualty title, the early Voyager titles, those were ones, and the beta Wolf Pack cosmetic. Those 3 rewards were a part of the previous beta before. If you missed out on that, you can still get these in this beta. So, the title is with one character reaching Kovashad. I don't know how they pronounce these names, butchering the names of the cities, but it's a city, the big city that you have to reach with one character. You get that title. The early Voyager title is by reaching level 20. In this one, I believe in the old beta that we had previously, I think 25 was the player cap. In this new beta, 20 is the player cap. But you can earn that title by reaching level 20. And the Wolf Pack cosmetic, you can reach that by getting level 20 as well. But there is a new award for this beta, the Cry of Ashiva Mount trophy. So this is earned by defeating Ashiva with one level 20 character. That is the world boss. The world boss is actually going to spawn, I believe, that Saturday, but more often than it did in the previous beta. And so as long as you go in with a level 20 character, you have to be, according from what they said, you have to be level 20 to get this. So you have to get a character to level 20, go to where the world boss is. There is stuff online where you can find out where the world boss is going to spawn, plus the thing shows up on the map, like I think 5 minutes before the world's boss spawns. Go in, defeat the world boss, and then you get this new reward, which is a trophy for the mount that you can have in the game, because this game does have mounts. And it has this little trophy, cool looking trophy. It's like the horn from the monster, but cast in iron or something like that. They showed it off. I'm sure if you look online, you can see it, but it is a pretty cool looking trophy. So you can earn that particular trophy for your mount in this beta server slam weekend on May 12th through the 14th. And like I said, I think the world boss spawns, I want to say they said on Saturday. So that Saturday is when the world boss will be spawning. So that is pretty cool. It'll be interesting to see. I do want to, like I said, I do want to check it out because I want to see what changes they've made, and I want to, I want to see what changes they've made, and I want to try for that world boss. Last time, me and Patrick did fight the world boss. The times were wrong because we arrived like an hour before the boss was going to show up. But we did come back an hour later and we did fight and beat the world boss. When you go in there, you can party up with other players, join this kind of an instance area sort of when you walk into it. And so it's not just you having to go, even though you can try soloing it if you want to. But it's you and a bunch of other people that are fighting this boss. And it's not too difficult of a boss, especially because at least in the, I don't know about hardcore and the other world tiers, but we're just playing in world tier 1, and in world tier 1, it just respawns you once you die, like right next to the boss. So you can just jump back in and keep fighting it right until you do it. So, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to fight. The boss is all over the place, has a lot of AoEs, a lot of attacks that are highlighted on the ground and things like that you have to dodge, and so it was a fun fight to fight. So it'll be fun to fight it again and to get another character up to level 20, because I'm itching to play some more. I'm waiting for the June 6th release date. It was a lot of fun playing through it. I had a good time, especially me and Pat played together. We did have some issues with the co-op getting disconnected and things like that, but hopefully they'll, with these fixes and stuff like that. And they said for PC players, they've done a lot of improvements to the game. DLSS3 is going to be available in this one, as well as some improvements and quality of life type of improvements for the PC side of things, as far as like performance and things of that nature. So that'll be nice. Hopefully the GPU issue with the 3080s will be resolved with this version. If there was something going on in Diablo, we don't really know yet what was going on. Either it was the gigabyte cards or something in Diablo. It's probably more likely the gigabyte cards, like we talked about before, and you can find that video where we talked about that. Hopefully whatever may have been assisting with that, with this game, kind of like what New World ran into, maybe they resolve that, right? And that could be with the cutscenes, is what a lot of people were saying, but we really don't know. So we'll have to see. But it is exciting to see that they are going to have another weekend. We didn't think they were going to have another weekend, a beta weekend, but now we know. So May 12th to the 14th, you can go out there and try out Diablo on console or PC, your preference, if you missed it the last time around. But again, with the map overlay, that kind of sucks, but we can deal with it. It is what it is. But we'll see if they fix that, or if they introduce that later. It's not really a fix. It's just a feature that they're not going to add. The other type of feature they're not going to add is WASD movement. Diablo Immortal does have that, but it is a mobile game that you can also play on your computer. But it does have WASD movement, whereas this is just clicking. And a lot of people were asking for WASD movement. So that might be something they did. That right now they have no plans to introduce that, but that might be something they introduce after launch, right? Where they do put that in there. It's kind of weird that Diablo Immortal has that, and Diablo 4 they decided not to. I guess they wanted to kind of keep with the old classic, mouse click and move attack type format, and not utilize WASD to move your character. But I can understand that if they did WASD, I would probably, I don't know, I would probably use it compared to the mouse. Maybe not. I don't know. We just have to see how well it works. I can't remember. I played Diablo more, but I can't remember how well I liked it or what I used, because you can use either or. But still, it is what it is. But I am excited for June 6th when this game comes out to be able to start playing it. Well, I'll be playing it before June 6th, but still. Still excited to go through their play, especially with playing with my friends, going on there and co-oping in Diablo 4 and playing through the seasons and various things like that. So let me know. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know down in the comments below. What do you think? What do you think of Diablo 4? Did you get to play the last beta? If not, are you going to play this beta? Have you pre-ordered the game? If not, why not? Or are you not? Are you wanting to see what the reviews say? Or are you wanting to let it sit out in the wild for a little bit before you pick it up? Or are you just not a fan of Diablo? Let me know down in the comments. And what do you think of the map overlay not being there? Is that a no deal for you, or you're like, well, we'll just see, or are you happy that it's not there? Let me know. But other than that, thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Also, hit the bell notifications to stay updated with new videos that we do all the time. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.